Hey, it's Jonathan Potoshnik. The question is, I'm about to graduate college. Should I stay in the lawn care business? So my answer to you is that really that's a question I can't, this is a question I cannot answer for you. But let me give you some guidance on a couple ways to think about this. So if your question is, you haven't said it, but if your question is, should I stay in the lawn care business? Is this a good enough business that I might be able to build a career around, that I might be able to make a lot of money, that I'm going to enjoy, that's going to take really good care of me? So if there's a concern about, is this industry good? Is there too much competition? All that stuff. If there's a little bit of fear there, and maybe you're going down the wrong road, then I would say no. That's not a reason to, it's not a strike against you staying in the lawn care business. So don't worry about those things. Don't worry about too much competition. Don't worry about the industry going away. Don't worry about there not being enough clients. None of those issues are legit. Don't worry that you can't make tons of money. Don't worry that you couldn't become a millionaire if you desired that. Don't worry that you can't, you're not going to be have a life and vacations and all that because you decided to be in the lawn care business, which isn't sexy and which isn't super exciting. It's not, whatever that is that might be considered exciting to many in terms of a job type. You're not traveling the world taking pictures or whatever, whatever that might be. You're in the lawn care industry. It's not one that kids grow up saying, I want to be in the lawn care industry one day, but the industry will absolutely take care of you. So if that's a concern, don't worry about it. So what I would suggest is, if you're trying to decide, you're graduating college, what do I want to do? Do I want to stay in the lawn care business? I think the real question is, what do you want to do? I can't possibly tell you that you should be in the lawn care business if you have been in the lawn care business and you hate it. If you hate everything about mowing yards, if you hate everything about knowing your plant types or landscaping or landscape design, you hate the idea of starting the business and being out there spraying the weeds and fertilizing, if you can't stand the idea of having to talk to clients on the telephone, if you can't stand the idea of having employees, then these are all strikes against you continuing in the lawn care business after college. And there's some basic questions too. Do you even want to own a business? So you own one now. Is that something you want to continue doing? I don't know what you're graduating from college in regards, I don't know what your degree is, and really it's to some degree irrelevant, other than it might be an indication of something you like. So is there something you have a passion for outside of the lawn care business? Is there just something you love? And if you stayed in the lawn care business, then you'd be missing out on that. So I do, at some level, buy into the belief that you really got to be doing, I really buy into it pretty significantly. You've got to be doing something you love. If you don't like the lawn care business now, maybe you're making some money at it, but you don't really like it. Or maybe you're making some money in the lawn care business, it's not a lot, and you want to go on, and so you're a little afraid about trying to go out and start over and get a job and all that. Those aren't reasons not to do it. So again, I don't know the depth of your question here, so I can only make some assumptions. And what I'm saying is, first decision, do you want to even be in business for yourself? It's not a walk in the park. You're not going to be rich tomorrow. It's not going to come without stress and frustration. You're going to have to deal with employees. You're going to have to deal with problems. You're going to have to deal with troubled clients. You're going to have to deal with vendor issues. You're going to have to deal with cash flow issues. You got all this stuff that goes into growing a real company. But there's a positive side. You get past those things and you learn, and you ultimately make a bunch of money and create a lifestyle that is enjoyable, and hopefully you're in an industry that you like. So if you don't like the idea of all those things that come with being a business owner, and those issues are at every level, not just startup, they continue. You get past some and then new ones develop. If you don't like that, then maybe you'd prefer to be an employee. You'd prefer to work for somebody, and that's perfectly acceptable. Or maybe you just don't like the industry, as I said earlier. If that's the case, I really recommend that you go explore your options now that you've got a college degree. See what you can do. So I would really encourage you to go do something you love. And I come back to, if you like the lawn care business and your fear is simply that, is this a good enough industry to build something around, that should be a non-issue for you. You can build a business in the lawn care business. In fact, there isn't really... So often, so many guys will say, boy, what you're doing, that would be, because I'm successful. They'll say, what you're doing, boy, I wish I was doing that. Your industry's better in any one of the things I'm involved in. But they don't see everything that goes into it. So I'd encourage you to be careful not to look out in the marketplace at friends and others that are very successful, maybe looking at their businesses or what their careers are and say, wow, it looks like that's a really good, easy industry, or it looks like it's a lot easier, or there's more clients over there, or there's more money in that business. Whatever those perceptions you have, those assumptions you have as an outsider, looking at someone else's success, be careful with that, because I've been fortunate enough to have consulted to a lot of companies and also owned a number of companies, and I get to see the other side. And there is no easier business. Sure, you hear about here and there some guy scored big and cashed out after just a couple years and made tons of money. That stuff's really rare. And so I wouldn't assume that's going to be the case for you. I would assume that's going to take some work. And so just be careful looking around at other industries and other jobs and making the assumption that that's a lot easier over there than the lawn care business is, because at the end of the day, building a business is building a business, and no matter what industry you're in, there's always going to be challenges. So, try to look at it objectively from that standpoint. Do you love the lawn care business? Could you get into being outdoors for a little while, building up your business, doing some work, and then being in the office to really grow it to maybe the next level? Could you see yourself selling and in front of clients and managing employees? If you can, then I'd really encourage you to stay in this, because you already know it, and study it and get better and just consume lots of information and go out there and work really hard. You'll do better than you will working for somebody. But if you have a passion for anything else, go try that. You can always come back to this business. Don't stay in this out of fear. Don't get into it out of fear. Whatever your scenario is, make sure if you've got something tugging at you that you really are would love to try it, but you're a little scared to try it, you may have to give up this lawn care thing, try it. You can always come back. So I'd really, again, not knowing your situation, I just stress, go do what it is you think you might love, and and at least find out that you don't, or find out that you do. That way you won't have any regrets, because I'm assuming your lawn care business isn't huge yet, and I'm assuming that you could always come back and do it again. So I hope that helps.